we're going to go ahead and get started. Keep in mind that more people may be trying to join us, both in person and online. So my apologies if there's any interruptions there. Starting off, I want us to review what we learned last week. Now, I'm not going to cover everything, but I do want us to review the different things that we discussed. First of all, is it? Yeah, it's on. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, they can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me quit. Okay, so who remembers what bonjour means? Yeah,
Hello.
Hello.
correct. Hello. What about Nikon?
Is she coming up?
Brother, friend.
Brother or friend, correct. Okay, let's see. What are the prefixes that indicate subject of the verb? Okay, so if I want to say I'm leaving, what would I put in front of the verb? Do you remember what the verb to leave is that we learned last week?
Is that the multi stuff? In?
In, correct. In, that is I, me, or myself. You put that in front of Maji, that means I'm leaving. What about if we're saying you're leaving? What would we put in front of Maji?
G.
G?
G.
Correct. G is correct. G is you. Okay, and what about if we're talking about he or she is leaving?
W.
W.
Correct. So we have someone here in person that said nothing, which is correct. And then someone online said W, which is also correct. So it's a matter of preference. You either put nothing or you put the W. Good job. Good job. Okay. When we went through the Maji pattern, I went through all the way down to they, which we definitely need to learn. But we were talking, Justin and I, and we're thinking we may just go ahead and do just the singular, the me, the you, and the he or she. And so we'll kind of focus on that a little bit later on in class if we have time, if we've gone through a lot of the stuff that I want to cover. We may go back and revisit the plural part of the pattern. But please know that even though I have a goal every day of things that I want to cover, I also am not going to rush things. So if you guys have questions and we need to slow things down a little bit, revisit concepts, I'm happy to do that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Who wants to volunteer to go through the little skit that we had where you're meeting someone? Do I have any volunteers online? Do you have your paper from last week? The basic greeting?
I'll do one of them.
Okay, Miigwech.
I'll do one. Did you bring yours?
Okay, do we have 2 volunteers?
Yes.
Okay,
Just basic greeting.
yes,
Okay.
okay, take it away.
Bojo,
Bojo.
Nichina,
Anwe Shashina.
And then you say Ginje.
Oh, Ginje.
Isha Anwe, or Anwe Shishina,
Miigwech.
and Ginje. Miigwech. And then
You could just say,
aha.
Ginjeshi.
Okay.
And then Ginjeshi. Did I say that right?
so you just say, where are you at? Oh,
Okay.
Gingesha.
Gingesha. Okay.
Mhm.
Gingesha.
Let's cross this off. Okay, this is wanting me to read, I don't know, do something. Let me get that out of the way here. 14 participants. I'm just trying, guys, to make sure, not ignoring anybody in the group here. Okay. So how did everybody do with the VAI verb crossword puzzle? Did anybody get that done?
I never received it.
I got it done. I sent it to you.
Did. Oh, awesome. Okay, I did receive some of the pre-tests. Let me just clarify, there's a lot of people that's panicking because you think you're getting a grade for it. You're not really getting a grade for it. Basically, it's just for you to measure what you learned in this class and for me to measure how I did. So you will take the same test at the end, and that's all it is a tool to assess learning and teaching. Okay, so no worries. Don't worry about getting everything right, or if you can't answer anything, or if you can answer only one thing, just answer what you know, and then we'll see what we've learned at the end of the course. Okay, I am going to start us off with, we have a few PowerPoints to go through. Now, in my mind, the PowerPoints that we're going to look at, this is how I feel things kind of should fall into place, or maybe this is how my brain works. I know that my class is going to be heavy on grammar, but for us to understand a sentence, I feel like we need to understand all the little working parts. So if you will bear with me, we are going to look at consonants and vowels. Not consonants and vowels.
You want me to go ahead and take this test?
What's that, sis?
Can we take this test?
You can take it with you. And if you guys will that are online, if something's not working, please let me know, because that's the only way I'll know to try and fix it. Okay, is everybody seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Wedge. Well, let's put it- Okay. Because the language is being written today using English letters to equate Potawatomi sounds, the letters are closer between the two sounds. You will find that certain letters are favored in the north and certain in the south. If you sound out a word, it makes little difference. You should be able to understand what is being said. Our consonants. So we have BP, and those are kind of interchangeable. If you will see Bama P versus Pama P, they both mean later on. It's just one, Bama P is more preferred here, I'm going to say, and then Pama P is used in Kansas, I believe. And then we have CH or J. They're basically the same sound. Again, it's just a matter of preference and really location. So we have Bagoch, which means wild, or Bagoch, the ch sound. So the J and the CH sound alike. The D and the T, like in goat, for one. The G and the K sound alike, Gises or Kises for sun. And then H is just H, like for how. What, it keeps coming up, sorry guys. Oh my goodness, remind me tomorrow. Oh wait, it's probably gonna make me pick a time. Hang on, guys. I don't know if you are seeing that, but there's some kind of updates. How about, let me just tell them Sunday. Hopefully that doesn't kick me out of here. Okay. Sorry, guys. And then we have M and N. Those are often voiced. which means it makes a sound like, when you're eating something and it's really good and you say, that's kind of what we're saying. So both the M and the N make those sounds. So mbagen or mbagen for bed. The S and the Z for zogetch or zogetch outside. The ZH and the SH for shishibe or jijibe, which is duck. Wajanda is just he or she is cooking. That's our W sound. It all sounds the same. And Yayeno, he or she is laughing. The Y, it's the same. Now, we have different learning systems that we use for the language between all the different bands. I believe there's 3 bands that use the learners. Prairie band uses a mixture of learners and maybe Baba, Winaut, which is Winaut. We use Winaut. But if you understand these consonants and also the vowels on the next slide, I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, now I'm stuck. Then you can speak to anyone just about anywhere. So even though here we're the Winaut system, by knowing these unique combinations that we have, the consonants and the vowels, you could pretty much understand people from other areas. Okay, so we have the KW and the GW as in quiet, the IW. Remember, this sounds like EO. So the W sounds like O when it follows the I. So anytime you see that, think EO. So we have Weokwan, which means hat. And I show you there on the slide what it sounds like, the EO. Tadiogamuk, which sounds like Tadiogamuk. The GW as in Guam, wow, sounds like wow, like it does in English. The OY sounds like it does in the English version, like toy, boy, joy, when Y follows O. So nothing different there. The EY or the IY is a long A sound like ray, bay, or say. And then the G that just popped up on the top, it sounds like goat or good, but G will never sound like the J like it does in giant. Okay, so it will never make that sound. Letters we do not have is L, R, X, V, and F. And then here are our vowels. A as in like A as in father. E with the little feather on top or dicritical. It's as in bat, cat, or rat. O as in go. E makes that double E sound as in read, need, or bleed. And then just the E without the dicritical makes the or the sound. Now on this E here, it depends on what is behind it will determine how that's going to sound. And I'll show you here in just a moment. So E sound as Usually if E is followed by a K, it sounds more like gishuk, which is sky or day, tuk, which is tree, wabuk, which is tomorrow. So as you're reading, pay special attention to what comes after our vowels, because it'll give you a hint as to how it should be pronounced. Okay, the dicritical E sounds like or a. So it either makes a short A sound or a long A sound. So for the short A, we have cat, sat, or rat. And the long A sound is going to be like say, day, or bay. So E sound as if. Usually if E is followed by an N or an M, it sounds more like it sound. So we have sin, which is rock, singo, which is squirrel, masin, which is firewood, and pin, which is potato. So be looking for that N or M when it follows the E, and this is the E without the dicritical, and it makes that if sound. Okay, so those are the two dicriticals that, or the two E's that we use. And I'm just gonna show you what other places use. So the E with the two little dots on the top sounds like the short U in cup. The E with the little arrow looking sounds like the O in book or roof. And then, which we won't ever have that here. We don't use that here. And then the E with the one little dot or a speck sounds like the E would sound in spec. Okay, so I'm sharing those with you just in case you're up north and they're speaking and or you see it written, and you will see it written like this. You'll be able to understand how that should sound as well. Like I said earlier, the M and N are often voiced, which means they're often not the strong sound on the front of the words. So it sounds like go, 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 tuck, tuck, wop. So just practice using that. You're not saying actually in, you're saying or okay. Okay, and that is it for our consonants and our vowels. Guys online, is my screen, is it blinking? Are you seeing a blinking screen? Because I'm seeing a blinking screen here.
No.
No, okay, if you're not, then I'm good. We'll just have to deal with that. Give me a second to. Okay, I sent you something via email that shows you some words that you can use to practice. So I want us to practice these sounds that we just learned. If you could grab that, let me grab one and I will tell you what it says. Okay, it says practice words for pronouncing EE vowels. Do you guys have that?
Yes.
Yes.
So someone, let me see, who am I going to pick on here? Patricia. Take the first word. How would you pronounce that word? It means same. See where I have the letters in red? That's going to be where you're going to make those pronunciations. I don't know, what is that with this screen?
Which one are we on or looking at?
We're looking at
The
the very first one. It means same. I don't want to tell you the word because then I'm telling you how it's pronounced.
are we on the first one I have is the basic greetings, but that was from last week. So are
No.
we on the animacy?
No, this one is the practice words for pronouncing EE vowels. I sent that to you for this week. Did you get that? Yep.
I have a few. So I have to find which one it is.
Okay. It's
Oh,
just,
practice words. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Tell us that first word. How would you pronounce it?
I would say Ayapen.
Okay. So you did get the end part.
Ayapen, maybe?
Ayapen.
Ayapen. Okay.
Ayapen. So
Ayapen.
you're concerned about that ending part. I gave you
Ayapen.
actually the phonetics in the middle, but yes, Ayapen, because you have
Ayapen.
that E and then it's followed by an N. So remember that sound. Okay.
Ayapen.
Allie, do you want to do the second one?
Yes. 1 second.
Miigwech.
Yashtuk. Yashtuk.
Yashtuk. Yashtuk. So that EK sounds like UK. Ayashtuk.
Right.
And that means take turns.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Madison, you want to take the third one?
Sure. Babuk.
Bubbuck, Bubbuck. Mm-hmm. That's always wants to be first. Bubbuck. Okay, the next one. Judah, you want to do number 4?
Iguian. Sorry, I thought I was unmuted.
No worries, Miigwech, that's correct. Iguian. Uh-huh. Okay, the next one, let's see. Eric, you want to take the next one?
Memejuk,
Nemajuk. Nemajuk.
Mamajuk,
Yeah, Nemajuk. That means a sure thing. Okay, next one. Let me see who I have on here. Shannon.
Yes.
You want to take the next one?
Nukmuk.
Nukmuk, correct. Here, there, everywhere. Nukmuk. Miigwech. Joyce, you want to take the next one?
Nukshay.
Nukshay, correct. Nukshay. Look, I use that word a lot with my grandson. Nukshay. Okay, the next one, Dustin, do you want to take the next one? You have to unmute your mic, Dustin. Okay, how about Kendra? You want to do the next one? The N-O-M-E-K?
Is it Nomuk?
No muck, correct. A little while. No muck. Kendra, were you here in person last week?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good.
I will be next week too. Sorry.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, I'm just making sure. Let's see. Who else do I have to pick on here? Oh, Brenda, I see a Brenda in here. Brenda, do you want to take the next word? Starts with an S.
Sana,
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 Sana, uh-huh. So in this one, most of the ones so far, the pronunciation's been on the back, but for this one, it's in the front because you have the S and the E and the N, so it makes that Sana. Sana, correct.
Okay.
Miigwech. Let's see, who else do I have? I think we might have lost some people when I started calling names. 'Cause we had- Okay, there's one. Who's the RKSWR? What's your name, hon?
Rhonda.
Rhonda. Okay, thank you, Rhonda. You want to take the next one?
Yedek.
Yeah, duck. Correct. That's apparently or evidently. Yeah, duck. Uh-huh. Okay, how about our in-person folks? Who wants to take the next one? The DATBEK.
Dotbuck.
Dot buck.
Dotbuck.
Dot buck. Dot buck. That is a leaf. Dot buck. And the next one?
Dotogin.
Dotogin. Bell. Dotogin. And the next one?
Gojikin.
Gojkin.
Gojkin.
Gojkin. That's a clothes hanger. Gojkin. Okay, so the phonetics, guys, if you will look at that list, the middle column, that tells you how to pronounce that word. Okay, so the next one is mbagen. Mbagen, that's a bed. And then we have pugwin. Pugwin, that's a flute. Westwind. Westwind, that's a heater. So you've got that E-N on the end. It sounds like an I-N. Wasatchkin, that's a window. Wasatchkin. Weegdokuk, that's a garbage can or trash can. Weegdokuk. Remember that I sounds like a double E. Weegdokuk. Next we have Peacegawen. Peacegawen, that's speed or velocity. Then we have Aquaquade. Aquaquade, that is a long tail she has. Aquaquade.
Aquaquade is dry and hard it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stepped. You're right. Dry and hard it is. My bad. I need some lights in here.
How do you turn the light?
Over there on the wall.
Oh.
Sorry, guys, I'm in the dark in here. Let's see, where am I at? Yinwanwei. Yinwanwei. That one's the long tail here. Miigwech, miigwech, miigwech. I think that'll be fine. That helps out a lot.
Oh, there we go.
Magadea, broad it is. Magadea, broad it is. Okay, Mishnake. Mishnake, that's a hairy arm. Bagaja. Bagaja is cold. He or she feels cold. Bigaja. Foolish thinking he or she is Kia Badindum. Kia Badindum. So if you guys pay attention to where I have the red letters, those are where the pronunciations are. The next one is Zakowak. Zakowak, that's afraid of thunder. And then Zag Ashe, fast. He or she is scared of going fast. Zag Ashe. Okay. So if you will, let me look back at this consonants and vowels. I just want to be sure. Just always remember that the I sounds like a double E. And remember your E with no dicritical sounds like up or I. And the E with the dicritical is gonna either be a long A sound or a short A sound. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
The PowerPoint that you showed previous to this, I did not get that. Did you send that out?
I did. Did everyone else get it? I hope. Did you guys get that? PowerPoint?
Which
I didn't
one?
get that one.
No, I didn't get anything.
Who's that?
We didn't get this one.
Who said they didn't get anything?
That was me, Brenda. I got, Tally posted something in the chat. I downloaded that so I could see it, but I've
Okay.
never received anything from you, Shelly.
Okay, so the ones that did receive from me, they sent me an RSVP, and so I have them in like a group email. So my apologies, Miss Brenda. If you could put your email address in that chat box, I will make sure to get you last week's and this week's handouts. But did anybody get the PowerPoint that I showed just a minute ago?
Yeah, I had it.
Y'all had it? Okay. So it should have been in there. Because I sent you guys all the same stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
What was the name of that particular one?
Let's see. That one said consonants and vowels, beginner Potawatomi 1.
Consonants and vowels.
Mhm.
Let me open that. Let me open that one and see what that one is, just to make sure I didn't miss one. Because there was like 8 or 9 different ones.
Yeah, there was a lot. Okay,
It was like 12 pages.
yeah.
Could you send it again? Because I'm getting a dialog box that could not preview.
I put it in the chat for you if you want.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I'm not able to. Technology is not. Let me just take this off because I've got people waiting. There we go in the chat room.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, whoever did that. Okay. Hopefully everyone is in now. I don't think there's anyone else waiting in the chat room. Okay. So let's move on to animacy and inanimacy. Okay, does everybody have the PowerPoint? It says animacy and inanimacy.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll post it in chat in a moment.
The world is broken up into animate or inanimate in Potawatomi, which basically means that things are either alive or not alive. So a table is not alive, but a tree is. Okay. Now, there are not everything, every rule is 100% that way. Sometimes there are exceptions. Okay. But mostly you can think about animate people, animals, trees. But there are some things that are considered animate that we normally wouldn't think are. We're going to go over those. And inanimate, you can think of those things as like man-made objects. However, some man-made objects are also animate. It just depends, okay? So on our list here, animate, nene, which is man, way, which is woman, tuk, which is tree, or ko, which is bear. Those are all living things. They're animate. On the inanimate side, we have Toswin, which is a cabinet. Masanoxagen, which is a picture. Matuk Jeepdapwin, which is a bench. And Gokpanagan is a basket. Those things are inanimate. You can see the Matuk Jeepdapwin, which is a bench. So over here on the left side, my left is Matuk, and it's animate because it's still living. But once you've taken it and you cut it down and you process it and you've made it into something else, it's no longer animate, it's inanimate. Make sense?
Yes.
Spiritual things are considered animate. So these are a few of the exceptions. So spiritual things are things that we use in ceremony. For example, a pawagan, which is a pipe, that is considered animate. Sema, which is tobacco. Dewagan, which is a drum, like a hand drum, or could be a big drum. Imkwan, which is a spoon, or Kanomigwan, which is a eagle feather. The Imkwan on the spoon, I would say that is considered animate when maybe you're using it to feed the fire when you're having ceremony. So just in case you were wondering, that's probably why the Imkwan is considered animate. Many things in nature are considered animate. However, there are certain objects that are animate in Potawatomi, but are not in English. Foods and plants seem about evenly distributed. However, food can be confusing. Animals, including people, are animate. Most modern things man-made that don't move on their own are inanimate. They are easy to recognize because most of the time they end with a gen or a win. So either G-E-N or W-E-N, okay? So if you would watch for those endings, that's going to tell you if it's animate and usually a noun. So some words are easy to identify, but others you just have to memorize. Some of those examples are the Buckiswan, which is a clock. It is considered animate. Majin Cowan, which is a glove. It's considered animate. Migwan, which is a feather, which was on the other list. It was a Kano Migwan, but feathers, animate Migwan. Zinba, which is ribbon, is considered animate. Damen, which is corn, is animate. It's an animate food. Neeb, which is an arrow, or my arrow more specifically, is considered animate. If it was your arrow, it would be a geeve, and if it was his or her arrow, it would be a weave. In any respect, they're animate. Kojes is bean. It is animate. Dabion is a car. It is animate. That's one of those things that I told you we wouldn't really think that it would be animate. But a car is a dabion. Pen, which is a potato, is animate. And mbus, which is lake, is animate. Now, coming into the language program, I kind of associated obviously living things, or maybe these things that are not living, but they're considered animate. Maybe it's because they're moving, but that's not necessarily the case. Some of these things, like the beans and the corn, for example, they're part of the three sisters. And then you have pen for potato. I was told many years ago that that is considered animate, because sometimes they have eyes. The potatoes have eyes. And then this one kind of throws me. Mbus lake is animate, but our rivers are not animate. One word we always say, because I'm a question box and I would always ask questions, and the answer I always got is Yorkshire Webbuck. That's basically just the way it is. It's, not really a good explanation. That's just the way it is. Most things in nature are considered animate or alive. With this concept, you really understand what was important to our ancestors and how they saw the earth as sacred. If a tree is treated in the same manner as a person, and likewise a grasshopper, it changes your perspective. Our ancestors saw the earth and all its animals as relations, not better or higher on the food chain, but as equals. Often you would hear old people refer to my brother the bear or my sister the river. Animate persons in nature include Gises, which is sun, Debuk Gises, moon. There's that EK, Debuk Gises, Mtuk, tree, Jigwek, thunders, Gamoan, rain. Reverence for life. When someone is to take something from the earth, it is traditional to put some tobacco down. We offer a prayer and thank the spirit of that plant or animal for giving its life so that we can live. Tobacco is how we traditionally pray. We put it down during a storm to ask the thunders to be gentle on us. And if we cross a large body of water, we put it down. If you make a spiritual request of someone, we always offer tobacco first. One elder said that tobacco precedes all things. So a couple of examples for that is when we have ceremonies and we need to take some cedar, we always offer sema to that tree and we pray and we thank it. And, we always make sure we're using it in a good way. And then of course, tobacco in our way, if you ask someone to do something for you, it's traditional to offer them some sema. And if they take it, then that's basically them saying, yes, I will do whatever your request is. So just keep that in mind. So how does this affect the usage of the language? When pluralizing words, it matters if it is animate or inanimate. So for animate mako, which is a bear, to make it more than one bear, you would just add a K to the end for makok, which is bears. And then dokwan is a table. It is inanimate. To make it more than one table, it's going to be dokwanen. You're going to add an en to the back part of it. When we say this or that, it matters if the this we are talking about is living or non-living. An example would be if we're talking about these inanimate things, we say noda. And we will get to these, that's considered a demonstrative. But noda, inanimate, I always use that as a mnemonic device to remember. So inanimate, that N on the front of Oda. Okay, and I'll bring that up with several different examples. Goda is for these animate people or things, okay? So always pay attention to the N's and the G's at the beginning.
Shelly,
Yes,
I have a question really quick about the pluralization.
uh-huh.
So are we adding the K and the E in because that would be like referring like in the like when we add it, what am I trying to say? Like when we add the K to mean they
Yes.
at the end of vocabulary.
So just the macaw is one bear. When you put that K on the end, that's multiple bears.
Okay.
And same with the table. And remember, that's the animate with the K. But the inanimate, it's going to be the N or the EN.
Okay. And those are the only two options, K or EN?
Show. We'll get to that.
Okay. For right
Okay.
now then.
Yes.
Okay.
Miigwech. Even the verb we choose to use depends on whether something is animate or inanimate. So wabma, which is our verb to see. So nawabma, I see him or her, that's a VTA. So that's an inanimate thing acting on another, I'm sorry, an animate thing acting on another animate thing. That's what VTAs are. Those are considered, I think up north they call them fourth level verbs or something like that. But here I just say they're the hardest ones. So nawab dawn is I see it. That's a VTI verb. Those we would learn about after VAIs. They conjugate very similar on the independent side. But if you will notice the endings, nawab ma, I see him or her, the ma ending tells us that it's a VTA. The nawab dawn, the DAN tells us that's a VTI. And then walye ya, it is round. Walyesa is he or she is round. Anytime you see a ZE on the end of something, it's a state of being. In this instance, that one is a VAI, but pay attention to the endings as well. When you see that ZE, know that it's a state of being, something. Finally,
I have a question.
yes.
I'm not understanding what the what does it stand for? VTA, VTI, VII, and VAI. What does that actually stand for?
Okay, so the VTA is the V obviously is the verb, but transitive verb, transitive animate, and that's two animate things interacting. It could be two people, it could be a person and their pipe, a person and their drum. So that's what the VTAs are. And we won't learn really anything about those. That's more for like higher up in the intermediate to advanced class. And the VTIs is, of course, verb transitive inanimate. So you've got one animate thing transferring energy or whatever action to something inanimate. Ya is inanimate and transitive. That's just it or they. It's it or they. It's not really transferring anything. Yeza is a VAI, and that's an animate thing that's doing something that absolutely affects nobody else. We will learn a little bit more about a little bit more of a descriptor about the verbs in maybe 2 or 3 more classes. But for this class, we focus solely on the VAIs. We will probably have another class in the fall where you can get more into the other verbs. Does that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, finally, it can be a stylistic device used by some speakers. For example, if you are telling a story where there is a mirror and the mirror comes to life and starts talking, once this happens, it is now treated as animate.
That
Also,
makes
you
sense.
could use it, go ahead.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh. Also, you could use it to make a point. For example, something in your own life which you consider sacred, you could treat as such or treat something else as not sacred if it's not important to you, the speaker. An example I would have for that is maybe like a rosary. If you're not practicing Catholicism, then that's probably not that significant to you. Whereas if you are, then, you know, obviously you may consider that animate, but for other people, it might be inanimate. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Okay.
So, you know, for example, the pendant that I have here, which is a fingerprint of my daughter, that would be an animate at that point because it's very sacred to me.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, got it.
Uh-huh. Okay, EO the end for that one. How we doing, guys? Anybody have any questions? Anybody blow anyone's mind yet?
Well, yeah.
I'm not trying to, I promise, but I just really feel like this grammar stuff is so super important. Okay, let me get to. Okay, let me. Okay, can everybody, you guys, y'all didn't tell me y'all couldn't see what we were looking at.
It flashes.
It comes on and off.
It'll come back on.
Mhm.
I don't know why it's doing that. I apologize, guys. Okay, for you online people, can you see this verb visual that I just put up? Okay. So all things in Potawatomi language will fall into two categories, inanimate and animate. So I really need you to learn animacy and inanimacy. It's pretty much cut and dry, but there are those few exceptions like car, it's considered animate. The nouns naming these things will be treated differently in Potawatomi sentences depending on whether they are animate or inanimate. Verbs that describe actions and states of being in the Potawatomi language also fall into categories depending on whether they involve animate or inanimate things. So for the verb wama, which is to see something, or he or she sees something, changes. So if you will look down here, I did give you this example in the PowerPoint, but you see this little girl that's looking at this table. So this is an animate thing acting on an inanimate thing. Okay. So look at the ending here. I'm trying to scroll up. And then over here with the little girl looking at the bear, that's an animate thing. Okay. Animate things can always or usually be thought of as living, but not always. And inanimate things can usually, but not always be thought of as non-living. Okay, so there's not just one cut or dry. It's one of those things you just have to know, and it takes practice. And you're gonna notice as we get a little bit further in, we use the verb maji quite a bit for the first class, which is the verb to leave. when you're speaking, you're conjugating depending on what you're trying to say, who the actors are. So you'll change something in the front and then in some instances add something to the back also. That was just one example because this verb wagma, it does the same thing. It conjugates differently, but they all change forms. So you'll see the wagma with the ma ending, then it changes to a wagdon and then a wagmon. So just kind of keep that in mind. We'll get a little bit further into that. Y'all screen it and come back up, guys. Sorry. Okay, there we go. And Bemepto down here in the corner, he or she runs, it's a VAI because you're not affecting anyone, you're just running. Okay. So keep in mind living and non-living things. That's kind of how our verbs are described. So that's why the animacy and inanimacy are so very important to understand. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to talk about possession, and then we're going to have a little activity. It's showing, yay. But it's doing its own thing. I think my PowerPoint's possessed. Well, I was just going to apologize to y'all that are here because it's not showing up, but then it did. So
We'll
go
let you
back
work
to
with
the-
your Zoom people. We'll follow along and let you work with your Zoom people.
Okay. Miigwech. Okay. The Bendawin, which is possession. Possession in Potawatomi is involved when dealing with objects you own, body parts, and certain objects. The simple form basically involves putting an N for my or mine, a G for yours, you or yours, or a W for his or hers, or so in addition to pronouns at the front, the formal system of possession, you also add an EM to the end. Now, I want you guys to understand that these prefixes are so very important. The prefixes that we learned the first time, the N, if you think about that Maji pattern, the N for I, me, the G for you or yours, the nothing or the W for his or hers or he or she's. Then we have another, that's the singular. And then on the plural, we have an N that's for, that excludes someone. So us minus you are doing something, whatever the verb is. And then the G is the next one. That's all inclusive. Now you're including everyone. And then the next one is also a G, and that's you all. And then the very last one just has a K on the back end, if you remember, and that's for they. But we'll look at that again here in a little bit. But we are going to focus on just the first or just the singular, probably maybe for a little bit more of this class, and then we'll revisit the plural. So we're talking about table, which is dopwin. It's inanimate. So if it's my table, it's going to be in dopwin. If it's your table, it's going to be good dopwin. If it's his or her table, it's going to be Wadopwin or just Dopwin. Because remember what I said last time, in the third person, the verb is, it's always third person, like where the W is. So you could either leave it just Dopwin or put that W. It's just a matter of preference. So then you look over to the other side, you see the formal form. You still have your N and your G and your W. It's just now you add the EM at the end. It still means my table, your table, or his or her table. Possession and relatives. Many Potawatomi words for relatives, body parts, and other certain objects can only be said in their possessed forms. That is, most of the time you can say my father, his father, but not just father. If there's a father, he must be somebody's father, right? So father is os. Os, that's how we say father. How do we make it your father? What do we do to it? Did somebody answer?
Your father is gonna be ghost.
Ghost, correct. What about his or her father?
Wosen.
Wosen or Osen, because you can have the W or not. And then, of course, Gie is mother. So how would we say my mother? What are we going to put at the front of Gie?
Ngie.
Ngie.
Ngie, correct. We're going to put it in at the front. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Body parts are also possessed. So again, like I said earlier, you're not going to have an arm or a leg just lying around. It's somebody's arm or somebody's leg, right? So here are columns. We have my, yours, and his or hers. Jash is how we say nose. So you just put that in the front for mine, put that G in the front for your nose, Vajash, or for his or her, it's going to be Wajash or just Jash. No, probably Jash. Uh-oh. Justin entered a waiting room, so he must have got kicked out and let him back in. And then next we have Ninces, which is hair. So if you have an N already on the front of something, you don't really have to add another N. So for this instance, Ninces is just Ninces, hair, my piece of hair to be more specific. If it's your piece of hair, it's Ginces. If it's his or her piece of hair, it's Winces. Same way with tooth, which is Nibet, Nibet. My tooth, Yibet, your tooth. We bet his or her tooth. And then tog, which is ear, tog, my ear, good tog, your ear, or wood tog, his or her ear. So those Potawatomi prefixes are very, very important when it comes to conjugating and possession. And basically, you know, when you're speaking, because you need to know who the actors are. Okay, here's my clickers. Okay. So a couple examples here, and these are the only ones that I know this happens with, but there is a silent W rule, and it works for Dabion, which is a car, and Pawagan, which is a pipe. So we're going to pretend there's a W on the front, which is why I have it highlighted there. So this affects the way that they are said in their possessed form. So the W with the preceding E is going to sound like an O. So you have Indo-Dabianum, Godot-Dabianum, Widow-Dabianum. That's your cars, mine, yours, his or hers. Indo-Pawaganum, that's my pipe. Gida-Pawaganum, your pipe. Wada-Pawaganum, his or her pipe. So the EW sounds like DO. Make sense? Probably not, but that's just the way it is. Yorkshire is your way, Buck. But those are the only two that I know that are like that. Okay, so wrapping it up. Relatives, body parts, and objects are possessed in Potawatomi. We use N to indicate mine, G to indicate yours, and W to indicate his or hers on the front of the noun. Different rules require adding different endings to the nouns. It depends if you are using simple or formal possession and or the short or long form. And so those are things that would be covered in an intermediate class because there are specific reasons that you would choose to use the long form. It makes it easier because if you don't, some of the letters in the original noun switch places and it just conjugates really, really crazy. So a lot of times the long form is easier to use. But again, that is discussed in intermediate class, which I believe we're going to have one in the fall. Okay, that is the end for possession. Okay, so if you guys, let me get out of this PowerPoint. I want to, hopefully my camera is going to work where you can see us working here on this whiteboard. And for you that have the whiteboard at home, I hope that you will participate with us. Let's see. I meant to. I meant to send this to you all today, and I don't think I got around to it. Trying to think how I could show you. I might could turn my camera on and show you guys at home what. Sorry, you have to see my ugly mug. Can you guys see what I'm holding up?
No, because it's on the board right now, Shelly. So you'll have to change cameras back to your other camera.
Oh, where is the camera? It's let's see. HD camera, I guess. Yep.
I think so. Yeah, down by video.
Okay, I pushed it and it's not giving me. Oh. It's just slow. Give it a second. Okay, it's not showing, but let's see, choose video. I clicked on the HD camera, Justin. It's not on the webcam, but it's still not showing, right? You're not seeing it? No?
No, we're not seeing it.
Okay, let me go to the other webcam. Maybe you can see it there, but I just want to show you guys this little activity. Let me try this. Can you guys see this now?
Yes.
Okay. So
Just
you guys
don't move.
at
Don't
home,
move too much.
you guys at home that has the whiteboard, if you would like to participate with this activity, I would like you to do a relative and an object and a body part. So if you'll look at your the PowerPoints that I just did, the very last one is going to have body parts on it and also the objects and I think also the relatives. So what I want you to do is right here, you're going to put what the letter is that you would have and the verb, and then tell us what it is. And we're doing first, second, and third person singular. So show me a relative, an object, or a body part. I won't make you do all three, just pick one. Does that make sense? You guys understand what I'm wanting?
Yes, Shelly, thank you.
Yes. And I'm going to pick on these people here. Okay, so. What green, sister? Oh, really? Okay. And then this is my. And then. Okay. So I'm gonna give somebody come do table, dope one. And then somebody can do ear. And then somebody can do mom.
You already hooked him up on ear. You put the in
Where?
on ear. You already gave him. You gave it
Oh,
away.
well, just trying to
That's
help.
okay
you
though.
know.
Hey,
Okay.
you need help every once in
You want the suffix or the prefix up here,
Uh-huh.
and then the word.
And then the word, and then what it is. Yep. And then when you guys online get ready, you can turn on your video when you can show us. Just let me know when you're ready.
She's gonna do all of that.
No, she's just doing one. You get to do one. too.
Okay.
Yeah, she can. I'm still not understanding.
Okay. Then I can't see these things. Does it have a W?
It can or nothing. Uh-huh.
Right away.
Hey, good week, guys. What do you guys think? Online folks, how's that look? Let me take
Good.
this down a little bit.
Looks good.
Okay, can you see it? Good, better?
Mm-hmm.
So she did dope one, which is table. The first one is in dope one. She put the prefix in for my table. She added the prefix G for your table, good dope one. And she put the W for would dope one, his or her table. This is correct. Remember, you can have the W or nothing. It's up to you. Do we have anybody online ready yet? To show us their,
I'm ready,
Yeah, I think
Shelly.
I could do the mom.
okay. Go ahead and share your screen with us. Okay, who wants ear?
Ear, did you say ear? Mhm. Is that what that second word is? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys online okay? You seeing this okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. If you could put the N on there, I could tell you how to fill it out. Yeah. Guille is mom.
Oh, she's doing ear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Okay, hang on
Myself.
1 second. And then I'll let you tell me what to put up there. Is this,
DA is what?
is that Eric talking or is that, uh-oh,
DA.
what did I do? Or is that Judah?
Judah had
You
to
guys-
leave.
Oh, Judah already left? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he let me know he was leaving. Okay. Good old weekus. So Susan chose to do the ear togue. In togue for my ear, good togue for your ear, wood togue for his or her ear. Correct. Okay, if you'll hang on a second, let me get this off of here, and whoever wanted to do mom, Guille, you'll tell me what to put. Or Sheila, you want to come up here and write it?
Okay.
Because you'll remember, that's one way you learn too, is you'll remember writing stuff. Reading it, writing it, and hearing it. For my old brain, I need all three. And then some. Okay. All right, she's ready. You're doing Guille.
Okay. Guille's mom would be in, and then Guille means my mom. And then G, then Guille. Guille means your mom. And then W, Guille means his or her mom.
So that's just mom. Guille is mom. So you're supposed to say my
mom.
mom.
Your mom.
And this is the one that can be a W. It can be a W, or you can leave it blank. Correct. Okay. What do you think, guys? Should I get that right? Eric, get that right?
Looks
I
good.
think they did. Uh-huh.
Eh.
Godot weegism.
Shelly,
Okay. Huh?
may I ask a question really quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on a word like nobim, if nobim is just husband, if I was then gonna say my husband, would it be two N's, like ninobim?
You wouldn't have to put it.
Okay,
So if you're talking to your husband, he's gonna know you're talking to him, right? But
right.
talking about someone else's husband, you're telling me something about my husband, or you're saying his or her husband, then yeah, you'll put the G and the W on it, and you can write it, but you don't necessarily have to say it. So you can write two N's, but you don't have to say both of them. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yes.
Justin, is that correct? Justin. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Okay.
Justin left the building.
So then it would still be nobim, not nanobim.
Correct.
Okay.
If you're writing it, you would still put that M on there.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't say it.
Gotcha.
Okay, let me find some more words. Oh, okay, I see Justin McWitch. Let me give you guys some more words. Okay, somebody online. Tell me what to write. Or if you have a whiteboard and you want to show us, does anybody have their whiteboard ready? Otherwise, I'll just write it on here.
I have a whiteboard ready.
Okay, all right. You want to go ahead and show us?
Oh, I was gonna wait for a word.
Oh, okay. How about, let's see, how about Josh knows? Or Jash. Jash, that's knows.
You said JASH?
Correct. Let's see. Okay, so we could use.
Justin.
I did have tickets for y'all, but they're probably not here. Gonna put another word up here while she's doing that. I think this will work out. Does anybody know what this word is? Sit? Is it sit? It. Okay, so this is sit. This is one person. I'm sorry, I meant to do this. But you are correct. Jipta. When, that's what you sit on. So that's chair. Does anybody else want a word?
Yes, please.
Let's see. How about oath, father? Now remember, that one's a little bit different. Does somebody else want a word to practice with? Somebody could do Nokmas, grandmother. Somebody want to tell me what to write?
I don't remember what grandmother is.
Nokmas, Nokmes. I'll go ahead and put these down. You can just give me the
Me or somebody?
somebody online. Not unless you just want to jump up here.
Oh. That's right.
Okay, who wants to tell me how to conjugate Nokmas?
Would it be for Nokmes? Is it just Nokmes for my grandmother? Nokems? Or
Okay.
is it, and then for your grandmother, Gnokmes?
The Nokmas.
GN. And then his or hers grandmother, Winokmes?
Or blank. Correct. Do we have, are you ready? See, what did I give you? But if you all, at home, I can send you this sheet, via email, or you can just make your own. But if you will practice at least this is a singular, first, second, and third person, that would help you out tremendously, being able to at least speak and play around with a couple of actors. But I will send this out probably Tuesday to everybody.
Okay.
And while we're waiting on her to finish her whiteboard, I did have a request from.
I did finish mine. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I didn't mean to cut you off here. I'm trying to, let me start my video.
Okay.
Yep, that's wrong. I gotta flip it. It's not working. Technical difficulties. Bear with me.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm trying to flip. Here we go.
Okay.
There we go. Ha! All right. And then to pronounce that, it was sorry, will you to pronounce nose? How do you say it? Josh?
Jash.
Josh. Josh.
Okay. So Justin, go ahead and come in here if I'm sitting there. So we have Jash and we have Josh.
Josh. Okay. So Ninjash is my nose and Gijash your nose.
Uh-huh.
And then we could just leave it blank Gesh or Wajesh is his or her nose, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Miigwech, good old Wigas.
Thank you.
The rest of you online
Miigwech.
making sense to you? I'm pushing
Yes.
this is so very important, okay? That we know these prefixes. And then it's gonna be important, we'll get to it, that you know the pronouns. So. All right, let's move on. So what time is it? I did want to let you guys know, I had a request from someone, new, she wasn't here last week. She may be here tonight, I'm not real sure, but she's brand new to the language, and when I sent her the information that we looked at last week, she was a little overwhelmed. And she, I told her that I would be willing to meet with her during the week. You know, as long as we schedule it, because I do have an elders class on Wednesdays. We have another class in the afternoon at 3 on Wednesdays. And then we have another class on Thursdays. Oh, Wednesdays is 3:30 and then Thursday is 3. So kind of have to work around that schedule. But if you are interested, I did get it cleared to have like a tutoring or just be able to work with the online folks, anyone that's interested on Fridays. I believe it's going to be at 10 o'clock. So if there's ever any questions that you have with the material that we cover, while it's fresh, if anyone's interested, just email me and I will send you the link, that Zoom link for that meeting, and that will take us through the end of this class. We'll be doing that on Fridays. So that's just another added help that, that I can do, you know. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'm going to move on to the next PowerPoint. Eric and I will send ours tomorrow before the next. So I apologize, guys, that are putting information in the chat box. Okay, Nokmisten or Wokmis, on the conjugation for grandmother, Wokmis or Oakmisen is what Justin has, his or hers. So Justin's probably checking the chat box. My apologies on that. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I'm going to. Okay, we're going to look at some simple Maji verbs. Now, I sent this to you guys because it had some clarifications in it from last week. Share this. Okay, are you guys all seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll recognize some of these words maybe from last week. I can Okay, my clicker's not want to work. Let's go this way. Oh. Might help this one. Okay. Simple AI verbs with the Maji pattern. These are verbs where something animate does something by his or herself. Doesn't affect anybody else. I eat, I sit, I will go, I did read, I will write, etc. Wisne, he or she eats. Maji, he or she leaves. Wawijige, that got knocked off. That's read, Wawijige. Kado, he or she says, and Kikto, he or she talks. Mine looks jumbled. I'm not sure why that happened, guys, so my apologies there. Go back. Animate, intransitive, AI. Oh. Okay, most AI verbs fall into this pattern, so become familiar with it. There are some AI verbs which are a little different, including those that start with Y or W. Also, there are a couple that lose or the last E or O. These irregular verbs are taught in the intermediate class, but I have included examples on slide 11, and these are the corrections from last week. Pay special attention to the highlighted portions on that slide. So here's Maji, he or she leaves, and there's the Maji pattern, Namaji I leave, Gamaji you leave, Maji he or she leaves. And then now there's the plural, Namaji men. So you're doing something to the front and the back. We but not you leave. So I always try to teach myself that in is you're excluding someone, that first in after in the plural. Gamajim men, we all leave. Now we're all included. Gamajim, with just the M on the end, the G and the M, you all leave. And then Majik, nothing on the front, a K on the back is for they leave. Giose, he or she hunts. So again, it's just a different verb, but it conjugates the same exact way. Nagiose, I hunt. Gagiose, you hunt. Giose, he or she hunts. Nagiose, men, we but not you hunt. Gagiose, men, we all hunt. Gagiosem, you all hunt. Giosek, they hunt. Binjage, which is he or she cleans. Nabinjage, I clean. Gabinjage, you clean. Binjage, he or she cleans. Nabinjage men, we but not you clean. Gabinjage men, we all clean. Gabinjagam, you all clean. And Binjagek, they clean. I'm showing you these to show you, and we've used Giwe, you've seen that one. So these are VAI verbs. They conjugate the same on the independent form, which is what we're using. So Nagiwe, I go home. Giwe, you go home. I'm sorry. Giwe, here she goes home. Nagiwe men, we but not you go home. Gagiwe men, we all go home. Gagiwem, you all go home. And Giwek, they go home. And here's Wawijige for he or she reads. Conjugates the same way. But I did send this out to you guys. Nabiage, this is he or she writes. Conjugates the same. And here are some more verbs that, if you will, practice while you're at home. Use that Maji pattern and practice conjugating these verbs. You can go just do the singular, the I, you, or he, she, or if you're, feeling motivated, go ahead and do all the singular and the plural, because you're only going to get better with practice, and you just need to switch out your verbs and stay with that Maji pattern. Okay, guys? Let me see. Okay, this is the irregular ones. Why is this? I don't know if it printed like that. Let me look. hopefully you guys didn't get it. Okay, so Cadeau,
My
so
page don't look like that. It came all overlapping each other.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the PowerPoint that I printed and it's fine, but I'm not sure why the computer looks like that, so I'm sorry. So what we had last week is the Gia, which is the verb to do something. Najia, Gajia, Gia, Najiaman, Gajiaman, Gajiam, Giak is the correct way to conjugate that. And we had Yaknoge, which is sick, and Daknoga. So remember on the slide a little bit earlier, there's like a AE. Sometimes the last thing drops. So yak or changes. So in Daknoge is I am sick. Gadaknoge, you're sick. Yaknoge, he or she is sick. And Daknoge men, we but not you are sick. Gadaknoge men, we all are sick. Gadaknogam, you all are sick. And Yaknogek, they are sick. And if you look up here with the Cadeau at the very bottom, you lose the O and you add the WIK, so Ked week. That means they all speak. So these are irregulars. They're still VAIs, but they do conjugate a little differently. And these are just a few irregulars. There's more irregulars, but I did want to clarify that from last week because that wasn't one of the verbs that I gave, but it was on one of my other PowerPoints and I didn't catch it and I let them conjugate it the same way the other ones were. So that was incorrect. Anybody have any questions about that? And I will try to figure out why the PowerPoint looks like it does, and I will resend it to you. And but I won't be in contact with you all until Tuesday of next week when I will send. I have one more slide and hopefully it doesn't blow your mind, but I did want to show you the Maji pattern on the conjunct side. So with the independent side, things happen to the front and the back. So the front with the singular and with the plural, you're doing something to, in some cases to the front and the back, and in some cases only to the back. Well, the VAI conjunct form for the Maji pattern, all the action is happening in the back, on the back side. So let me show you this real quick. Okay, so we're going to use Maji still. So if you'll look, there's no NG, W, NG, G, because everything is on the back. So now you have Maji Yan. It still means I leave. Maji Yen is you leave. Majit is he or she leaves. Maji Yak, we but not you leave. Maji you go.
Shelly, you may need to share your screen. I think the camera is still showing the whiteboard.
Oh no. Okay, I am so sorry, guys.
Daisy, why are you watching?
Let me. I did share it, but it's.
There you go. Looks good.
You can see it. Okay, you guys, you can see it, Justin?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, he glitched. It's not wanting to. Okay, well, it's doing its own thing. Come on.
Can't hear you real good, Shelly.
Okay,
Shelly,
yeah.
we can't hear you real good.
See this?
At least I can't.
Has it been that way the whole time?
No.
Squeeze it. Give me
Well, when you went back to the slides, I didn't hear real well.
You first.
Okay. What about now? Can you guys hear me?
That's
Can you guys
better.
hear me? Okay.
That's better, yeah.
Try to talk louder. But my PowerPoint is not wanting to just do it manually.
I'm afraid the audio might be pulling from the camera.
Okay, hang on. Open. Close these up and- Okay. Let's see if it's. Okay, it looks like it wants to play nice. Okay, you guys seeing this now? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can see it and I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, me quench. Okay, so if you will recall, when you are conjugating verbs using the independent pattern, you do something to the front and the back end of the verb. With the conjugate pattern, all the information on who is doing the action is on the back end of the verb. So this is another pattern that you will have to learn. So here we go. So Maji, yawn. You see the YA end on the back end? That is I leave. That's the I.
Hey, Shelly.
Yawn. Yes.
It's still on the title slide for us.
Wow.
Like it's not advancing.
Okay. Don't know why, because it is here. Let me know when you see something different. I'm not sure why it's not. It's
You might have to try resharing it, Shelly.
okay.
You might be running it off the non-shared one.
Well, I thought I got rid of those, but now I can't. Close it out, you guys, bear with me. Okay, so I've stopped sharing. And then. How about now? Is it changing?
We don't have anything now.
Nope.
Oh my.
So you gotta hit share again and make sure you click it.
Okay.
There we go. We can see your screen now.
Yay. Okay. Okay, there's the second page, guys. So if you will notice here on the Maji pattern, now there's nothing on the front. It's just the verb Maji. And then on the back side for I, you have yawn, Y-A-N. So just like in is I or me, yawn is I. Maji yen, that's you leave. So like the G, the yen is you. And then Majit, you've got a T on the back side. That's the he or she leaves. So that takes the place of the nothing on the front or the W.
It's back to the main VAI conjunct form page. Like you may have to manually move it down. Like if you're using that clicker, I don't think it's going on the online.
What about now? I'm using my finger on my laptop and it's, is it not changing still? I thought.
Yeah, it didn't look like it is to me, unless my internet's messing up.
Yeah, mine's not changing either.
Nobody's is? Oh, Lord.
No.
Okay, so if you guys will visualize the Maji, the word Maji, and in the independent Maji pattern, we've got the N for I leave, the G for you leave, and the nothing or the W for he or she leaves. Now with the conjunct, you won't have that. You'll just have the Maji, and then for the I leave, you'll have Yan, Maji Yan. And the you leave would change from the Maji to Maji Yen, Y-E-N, you leave. And then from Wamaji or just Maji, it changes to Majit with the T for he or she leaves. So write that down in your notes. I apologize for the technical issues. I've tried to take it off and reshare it several times, so I'm not sure what's going on. And then we have, so you can use any of those VAI verbs that I sent you the list for, and you can conjugate them this way. Just remember, conjunct means everything happens on the back side. You won't be doing anything to the front now. And the reason that you would use conjunct is if you are using one of the question words, like the who, what, where, when, why, those type questions. If you're using that, then you will always end up using the conjunct. Or if you have multiple verbs in the sentence. So if you have multiple verbs in the sentence, your first verb can be conjugated using the independent pattern, which is the in-maji, go-maji, wun-maji. But say the maji happens to be like the second or the third verb in the sentence, then you're going to have to conjugate it using the conjunct form. So you're going to be doing the stuff to the back, the maji-yan, the maji-yin, the maji. Does that make sense? Probably not. I'm sorry. I know you can't see it.
I typed it in the voice box. I typed it in the chat box. I can see the Majiyan, Majiyin, Majit, Majiak, Majiago, Majiyuk, Majiwat. So I guess what she's trying to say is all the information's on the back end of the verb, I think.
Yeah. You know what? I could have used, let me try to.
I have a ball game. I have a ball game at 7:30.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
My girls, it's about 9 till anyway.
Oh, okay.
I just dropped the PowerPoint in the chat.
Oh, it's 6 till.
I was going to try to put it on the webcam and show you. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Let me see if I can do that, guys.
I'll put it for you.
Madison dropped the PowerPoint in the chat box also just now.
Okay, sounds good. Let me take the share off so you can see. Uh-oh, what do we do with the pen? Okay, guys. So Maji, can you guys see? Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. So there's our verb Maji. So I leave looks like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Majiyan, you leave looks like that. Majiyin, and he or she leaves looks like that. Majit. So you no longer have the N, the G, or the W. Does that make sense?
I think I understand the difference between the two, but I don't think I understand when to apply the difference. Like When would I
Okay.
say Namaji versus Majiyan when talking about I leave?
Okay, so when we are using the question words, which we will get to maybe next week, but we, like in the English language, the who, what, where, when, why, we have those question words as well. And so whenever you use those, then you have to use the conjunct. Another time that you would use the conjunct is going to be when you have multiple verbs in the sentence. You could have a verb, you know, and then some stuff, another verb, some stuff, and another verb. Okay. The first verb is going to be conjugated in the independent with the N, the G, the W. But these two verbs over here are going to be in the conjunct with the yawn, the N. And
That
the
does
T.
make sense. Thank you.
Okay. And so will this one. This one will be yawn, yin, T. And there are ways around that, but for now, we're just going to leave it at this. So does everybody understand when to use the conjunct? And we can certainly visit this a little bit more, but when we get to those question words, that's when we'll start seeing, you know, the conjunct pattern. Okay, guys. So we have about 4 minutes left. I do want to remind you, if there are any handouts that you didn't get, if there are any questions you have that didn't get answered, or if you would like to participate with the online tutoring study, and it could be me, it could be Justin, it could be Josie, could be all three of us. We are going to be doing that on Fridays. And as soon as I get the Zoom link for that, for those that want to participate, I will push that out to you. And I will also push out material for next Thursday's class on Tuesday. Are there any questions?
No, Shelly, thank you for class.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll look forward to class next week.
Be quit, Shelly.
Be quit.
Brianna, Shelly.
Mama P.
Go ahead.